Welcome back to the Auto Insider, where you come to find out what's new, what's hot, and what's not in the automotive industry. This week, we're testing the 2022 BMW X3M. This M, though, has the executive package. That's not the big deal. It also has the competition package. That's right, larger wheels, bigger brake calipers, more horsepower, lower 0 to 60 times. In fact, BMW even claims a 3.7 0 to 60. But that's only 0.2 of a second off of the BMW X3M. Is it worth the additional $7,000 for the competition package? Just how much fun can be had in this new high-powered crossover? Part of this competition package is this M-tuned exhaust. The sound is amazing. Let's crank it up and let you hear for yourself. These days, you may see a lot of BMWs riding around with this M logo and these blue and red stripes here, which indicate in the past that these were really performance vehicles. In fact, these days, you can get these M badges just by adding a few of the options that make the vehicle look a little bit better. Different appearances, but you don't really get the performance from the M that we were accustomed to back when I was coming up. Nowadays, if you want to be sure that you're looking at or thinking about a competition vehicle or an M performance, high performance vehicle, you want to make sure that you see this competition logo. This means you're dealing with the real thing. Out here in the front, where this car really stands out is this inline six, the twin power turbo from BMW, 503 horsepower. BMW claims 0 to 60 times, 3.7 seconds. We put it in launch control and checked it for ourselves. Oh my God! While we didn't have a stopwatch that we could really count on, it felt like sub fours to me. And when you're talking about an SUV, who could actually need more than that? So even though this is a small crossover, it's a lot heavier than we're used to when you're talking about a performance vehicle. So these brakes are gonna really make a difference as to whether or not this vehicle is hot. Let's go right to the elephant in the room, the front fascia on BMW these days. Anywhere you look on the internet, people are complaining about the size of the grille. Well, on the SUV of this size, this grille doesn't bother me at all. I actually really like it. We also have the shadow line here with the competition package. I think it's a rather mean, aggressive, attractive front end. Some of you watching this video may be looking for a family SUV. And I'm gonna make the argument that this X3 could potentially work for a small, young family, a growing family. There's enough room here for me. I'm 5'10", cup holders, the seat back reclines. And on those times when you have to use your SUV for something other than carrying around people, these second row seats fold down in 3 separate areas. You can get all kind of difficult cargo in a space like this. But to really make a good SUV, it has to be convenient. Keyless remote opens the hatch. So as you can see, this X3 is not just a performance vehicle. You can also use it as a family car. So for those of you trying to convince your significant other that maybe this is the best SUV for your family, here's something you can do to get maybe a buy-in. The cargo cover comes out, and you have capacity for those runs to the big box store. You may have to leave the kids alone, but that's okay. And I think that all SUVs should have a cargo cover. So if yours doesn't come with a cargo cover, by all means, opt up and get the cargo cover. And here's another tip if you're trying to convince your significant other that you could use an X3M competition as a family vehicle. You have the convenience of closing and locking the hatch and locking all the doors with one push of a button. It goes down, you walk away. Another advantage if you're trying to convince your significant other that you should put an X3 competition in your driveway is, you saw me, I'm 5'10", I fit in the back seat, no real problem. We actually took a road trip in this vehicle, about 200 miles. My 14-year-old rode back there, no problems at all. She reclined the seat, put up her sunshade, and it was a great road trip. Other thing that you can talk about with the X3 is its size. So it's large enough to carry things that you need, like we showed you there in the hatch. And then it'll fit in any standard garage. There's no need to move boxes, rearrange the garage, clean out the garage to get it in. It fits, no problem. You also have adjustments for your steering wheel, up and down, in and out. So tilt and telescopic wheel, you can get it just about where you need it. And the beauty of this steering wheel, it doesn't interfere with any of your gauges here on the instrument cluster. When you watch videos on BMWs, you'll hear a lot of people complaining about the infotainment, the controls here, the BMW iDrive with the knob. And though I didn't find it so difficult to use and work, I actually found it relatively easy to use. But for those of you who don't want to use it, you have to have an infotainment system touchscreen that works well. So you choose your media, it's easy to go through here. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto that seamlessly hook up wirelessly to the BMW X3. This brings you down other information, help. You go back to your home settings. You go to your apps that you have installed. You go here, you can make all of your adjustments to your vehicle. You can check your vehicle status from here, which is very important driving an M. Your navigation, you can use CarPlay navigation, which we use. You can even do things like change the theme, which you want to work here. So the touchscreen works great. Another thing I really like is that you don't have to just use the touchscreen. You also have all of your AC controls here. You have your heated seat for your front seat passengers. Preset radio station buttons here. You can select your modes, volume control. There's also a volume control here on the steering wheel that you can use if you don't want to use these. The executive package and the competition package also came with gesture control. So, of course, I have the option of turning my radio volume up and down and changing my stations. Doesn't always work that great, but when I have a phone call, I'm supposed to be able to mute it. It works when I don't want it to work. So even though it's a cool party trick, it doesn't always work the way you want. I actually turned off the gesture control while we were on vacation because I got tired of it changing stations and muting when I didn't want it to.
So while this X3 isn't perfect, it does have comfortable, supportive seats, especially if you're going to take it to the track. You have this panoramic roof that gives you a feeling of a larger interior. And everything here for the driver's controller are set just where you need them and where you want them.
That's all the time we have today on the Auto Insider, but for more of what's new, what's hot, and what's not, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, then download the SoundCloud app and listen to all of our reviews in their entirety. The moment of truth. Is this X3M competition hot or not? I think it goes without saying, this one's hot. Until next week, I'm Daryl Killian for the Auto Insider.